This whole hour that gets added in the mix, which could have been 3 matches or something before, so 2 hours worth of this event are going to be just the Royal Rumble matches themselves, but we'll break that down after we do the other 3. Because currently right now we have the Raw Women's Championship match between Bianca Belair and Alexa Bliss, which I think is pretty straightforward. I think Bianca Belair's going to retain, and I don't know exactly how necessarily that's going to go down, because I do expect something to happen with Uncle Howdy or Bray Wyatt or whatever, but that kind of ties a little bit into the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match, the Bray Wyatt versus LA Knight match, and we're going to kind of lump these two together because there's a chance that there's a crossover between them. Bliss has been doing a lot of stuff with the Bray Wyatt character. Bray Wyatt hasn't been acknowledging Alexa Bliss in return, which is kind of weird. What do you guys think about that angle of the whole thing? That this is sort of like a one-sided affair.
Not Bray Wyatt acknowledging her, it's Uncle Howdy. Uncle Howdy is manipulating Alexa Bliss to get to Bray Wyatt.
So you're on board kind of with the thing I was talking about, where it's probably going to be Alexa and Uncle Howdy against Bray, and I'm assuming Liv.
I don't know if it's going to be an exact team match, but I think that they're tying the story together in a unique way. And if I'm honest, I think the connection between Howdy and Bliss is the most interesting thing. Bray Wyatt is doing that now, even though it's not Bray Wyatt. I'm interested to see where this goes, because there is potential for this to be a fun story, and I'm glad that other characters throughout this entire Bray Wyatt saga have been utilized. LA Knight's getting a Royal Rumble match, and a pretty feature one at that, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that Bliss is getting, pushing in after kind of just sitting around for a while. So I'm interested to see where all this goes, and of course, will they eventually reveal that Uncle Howdy is somebody else? We're all presuming Bo Dallas. And I'm interested to see where it goes. That does not mean that I've liked the journey we've taken here. I personally feel like I cannot believe Bray Wyatt has been back for 5 months. Like, what's happened here? Like, what? He's done nothing.
They just want to give me more credibility. Like that out of all things.
I want you to know that I hate you. But, like, what the fuck is a Pitch Black match? No, I don't care that it's Pitch Black match. Don't even afraid of that. I care that it's tied to Mountain Dew.
The Mountain Dew Pitch Black match, yeah.
Because if you're like, oh, man, we got a Pitch Black match. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll give a match for Bray Wyatt. I can get behind that. It's anything for Bray Wyatt. It's a tie-in for Mountain Dew. And, like, why do I care? Look, obviously Wyatt is winning. I think Bliss is winning. I do not agree that Bianca Belair will be winning. I think Bliss is winning because I think Bianca Belair will probably shift over to SmackDown to fight Charlotte.
So you're definitely on completely opposite end of the spectrum as I am, but where are you sitting on this count?
In terms of the Bianca Belair Bliss feud, I think it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's nothing I'm particularly interested in. I don't really care about the times of Uncle Howdy. I think it makes Bianca look stupid. Because she, especially that segment a couple of weeks ago where she just froze at the sight of someone standing in the entrance way, or standing in a concessions area, and allowing Alexa to just beat her up because of it. Even though Alexa speaks with a lot of conviction, I don't believe that she's going to beat Bianca Belair win the title. I think Bianca will go into WrestleMania as the Raw Women's Champion. I'm not entirely sure because at the moment I have a couple of ideas. And in terms of the Bray Wyatt and LA Knight match, again, as Rob said, absolutely hate the times of Mountain Dew. It makes the whole match seem like a publicity stunt rather than an actual feud. It seemed like, we had to do at some point a Mountain Dew Pitch Black match on this card, so we've just had this match do it. Rather than actually seem like it's a proper Bray Wyatt gimmick. I've really not enjoyed anything that Bray Wyatt's done since coming back. It's been entirely underwhelming. I think they've really eroded the style of how he could have had if he'd come back immediately and hit the ground running a little bit more. So I'm not super excited about that back. Bray Wyatt typically does not have great matches. I know it's fine, but I don't know if they really establish him as like one of the A-grade top tier workers that can get the best out of Bray Wyatt. I think this match is going to be a load of gimmicky bullshit. I think there's a good possibility that LA Knight wins because that's how he screws Bray Wyatt out of it.
So that's where I'm going, is I think that we're going to get interference in some fashion in both of these segments, and that the Belair situation, I'm going to, it's kind of like it's all circumstantial and kind of stacking up on top of each other. So if one thing is wrong on my prediction, I think that all of it sort of collapses. But I don't think I can picture Alexa Bliss going into WrestleMania as the champion right now, more so than Bianca, because I can't picture, like, Liv Morgan or somebody else wins the Royal Rumble and challenges Alexa Bliss, and then Bianca gets pushed in a different spot. And then what do you do with people like Becky, and what do you do with Ronda? And, I mean, that's another whole thing too, but
we're going to get into all that.
I do think that Belair retains, which makes me think maybe she just beats Alexa outright and then something happens after the match, or maybe Alexa gets a little bit too wrapped up in like another person ringside with a mask on, or Uncle Howdy pops up on the screen, or Bray Wyatt pops up on the screen, whatever it might be, and that gives her like a moment's pause, and then Bianca capitalizes, hits the KOD, gets a pin, and then whatever. But I think that Belair stands more of a chance to win, and then by proxy Bray Wyatt will lose because Uncle Howdy will directly interfere there, and then LA Knight gets to win. He gets to tout himself as being like, yeah, you see, I even beat Bray Wyatt, because I don't think that feud's going to continue. I think this is pretty much the end of it. And you can assume, since they haven't said the rules yet for this Mountain Dew Pitch Black match, it's probably no DQ. And it's, I don't know if they're going to just like mess around with the lights and just have it like flickering in and off, or it's going to be like that glowy blue filter that they have, and that's going to be just that for the entire match. And they haven't learned their lesson from Sin Cara or from the red stuff that Bray Wyatt used to do. But I'm assuming Belair Bliss, regular straight up match. Belair retains, whether or not there is a distraction. Bray Wyatt, LA Knight, no DQ, direct interference. Uncle Howdy fucks up Bray Wyatt or whatever. LA Knight gets a quick pin, just all googly eyed and I'm going to run in and just jump on Bray Wyatt and get a pin and then run away kind of deal. And then that sets up a little bit more of Bray Wyatt being like, okay, well, I got to deal with this Uncle Howdy thing. I'm moving away from LA Knight. Whether or not it all ties together with like maybe Bliss comes out on the Bray Wyatt thing with Uncle Howdy. Maybe the Bray Wyatt thing comes first before the Bliss thing, and maybe that's how they get into that a little bit. Or like Uncle Howdy screws Bray Wyatt over during the match with Belair and Bliss. Uncle Howdy comes out, starts to help Alexa. Bray Wyatt comes out. Alexa gets confused about what's happening, and then Belair retains. It depends on where you go with which match is first and which match follows and stuff. But I'm gonna go LA Knight and Bianca Belair. So I think I'm on the same page as Cal in there.
So we haven't talked about the whole thing here. What do we think Bray Wyatt is gonna be? The Fiend? We did a lot of Firefly Funhouse shit, and I hope he's not the Fiend. I'll say that. Didn't like the Fiend. I was hoping we were gonna move away from that, but they could do that.
I think that there's less of a chance he's going to be the Fiend now after, oddly enough, that little discussion with The Undertaker.
Yeah, that was interesting.
So, maybe, they did do the Firefly Funhouse thing, but maybe that's even just on SmackDown. Maybe it's kind of like, last week's Firefly Funhouse is messing with you, and then on Friday it'll be like, hey, the last call for the Royal Rumble. By the way, I'm also the Fiend, remember, and I'm crazy and I can attack you with a sledgehammer and shit.
I don't think Knight is winning because when the fuck do you go with him? Okay, he beat Bray Wyatt, then what?
And then I think he just kind of starts another feud with somebody and he's just kind of a cocky heel bouncing around.
I just don't think it's on that level because no matter what, Wyatt is always top level in terms of the way he's booked. I think he has to beat LA Knight. Then maybe you can do some Uncle Howdy. So by the way, Uncle Howdy is very silly. Maybe there's some deep connection there for them. I just feel silly saying, oh boy, is Uncle Howdy going to come out and tag him? Maybe after the match. And I don't know where Bliss fits into all this, but I think that's why she's my favorite part of it. It's actually like, okay, cool. Is there more to this? Will they tell a decent story?
So you're going more so Bray
I'm going with Bray and Bliss.
and Bliss. And Calvin and I are going Knight and Belair.
No, I'm going Bray and
No, Bray and Belair. Okay.
I agree that there's a good chance that LA Knight can get victory in this one, but then my mind just defends the fact that this is Bray Wyatt's first match back on TV, so they're not pay-per-view, so they're not going to have to lose.
And if I thought that they had any direction for Knight after this, I'd say maybe there's a chance, but I don't think they do. I think he's going to defend Wyatt and that's it.
Weird times. And, there's 2/3 of the non-Royal Rumble matches that are announced for this card. The other one being a follow-up from 2 years ago, Roman Reigns against Kevin Owens for the Undisputed. Well, last time around it was just the Universal Championship. Now it's the Undisputed WWE Universal Championship because both belts are on the line because they're not splitting that because even though they teased splitting Raw and SmackDown tag titles, they didn't do that on Raw, so that was... We're going to bounce around a little bit and talk about that on the hot tag some more, but generally speaking, look, it's Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens with the idea in mind being Sami Zayn keeps being in this position where Roman's like, I don't trust you, but now that you're asking if I trust you, I trust you. They keep copying and pasting it over and over again, and it's a good story, but it's a story that's being stretched out way too long of the same thing. So they're stalling, and I think that this is the time that something has to actually happen. So it's weird because you would think logically, what should kind of happen here is Sami should inadvertently cost Roman the title, or do something where he turns on Roman in a way that like Roman can be like, all right, it's definitive now, fuck you, pal. But we just had on Monday Night Raw the trial of Sami Zayn, and the idea of I don't know if you can trust me, and we're going to establish that you definitely can because I helped the Usos retain their tag team titles. Yet Roman still is going with the idea of, I don't want to see you on SmackDown, I don't want to see you until the Royal Rumble. That's your, last true test of whether or not you should be part of this family. I'm confused about what the plans are here, because this factors into the Royal Rumble, this factors into potential splits of the titles. We've been hearing rumors of Drew and Seth for one championship, and then Roman against either The Rock or Cody, or that Austin gets a money offer for a match against Roman, or Brock Lesnar, who seems to be tied up with Bobby Lashley still again, so we're going to go back to the Royal Rumble before. We got the John Cena thing that's in there, which is like John Cena could be having a match against a handful of different people, and then maybe he gets involved with it, and it's like, I think I'm still going to stick with my original thing that I've been saying for the past few months, which is that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are going to fight the Usos at WrestleMania for the tag titles, and I think that him being Sami, holding up the SmackDown tag titles and being all posing with it might be another push forward of yeah, I helped you retain the tag titles, and then you weren't necessarily supposed to be in the match, and blah blah blah. But I can't see a scenario here where Kevin Owens wins the championship, even if they do some kind of weird thing where it's like, all right, he won the title, but you're only contractually for the WWE championship or something. They didn't set anything up like that yet. So unless something happens on SmackDown that really changes the game, I think Sami's going to do something to screw up, but I still expect Roman to retain.
So I want to touch upon what you said here, where you said it's a good story. They're great characters, and they're great performers. The story itself is kind of meh. Let's tell the truth here, folks. They should have split at War Games, and the prolonging of the split has only furthered my feeling of that because, again, was the trial a hilarious segment? Absolutely. Have they done anything to establish what the fuck the point of all this is? No. No, they have not. Right now I'm thinking, maybe Sami accidentally hits Roman in a way that, in 2009, Shawn Michaels was with JBL in a match against John Cena, and to get his guard down, he super kicks JBL. And even, you can do that in a way that's like, at least I'm on your side, because I helped you win, even though I hit you. But then still, where are we going? And furthermore, WWE needs to flat out state, Sami Zayn is not in the Royal Rumble match. Because otherwise, you've got a 2014 Bryan situation on your hands, where even though people want Cody, and I think we'll be very okay with Cody, there's kind of a thing where people are thinking, oh my god, maybe Sami Zayn is going to actually win. If they don't have The Rock, maybe it's Sami. And I think they should flat out state that he's not there. Honestly, I'm okay with Kevin Owens winning. At this point, it feels like the Rock idea has fallen apart. I think it would mean a lot for Cody to win it. But I also think that they're in this place right now where we've kind of booked ourselves into a corner, and we don't even know what corner we're in. We're just sort of trapped. I'm going to say Roman wins because, at this point, you might as well take it to Mania. But I'm not sure how, or how they get there, or where the fuck they're going.
So I think that the Bloodline stuff is the best stuff on WWE TV, and it's the only thing that makes WWE TV bearable at this stage of the game. I think that sort of characters are great, and they are telling it's a prolonged story, but we always talk about this sort of era of WWE doesn't know how to do long-term storytelling, and then they do long-term storytelling, and people say, oh, they're dragging this out quite well, aren't they? And I'm not saying that one can't exist without the other, and yeah, maybe there are elements of this where they have dragged it out a little bit, but I think it's quite interesting to, when you watch that Raw segment, to watch them go back and actually, in the style of the core room exhibition, play back things that happened over the last 4 or 5 months, and you can actually see all the different beats, the major beats of this story, all play out. And realistically, for a long-term story, every week it shouldn't be the main focus, or there shouldn't necessarily always be a big development that happens. It sometimes just needs to stay still for a little bit and just maintain the status quo, because then when a change happens, it feels even more knowable.
That's where my issue is with it, is they spend almost every week teasing that Roman is going to potentially be, this time is when he's going to be mad at Sami, whereas I think if he did that once a month over the course of this, that would have been better.
I think there's an argument to say they haven't played on that side of things a little bit too long, but maybe it's just the idea that everyone knows that's where the story's going, so they're going to keep trying to tease it until it actually happens. So almost the idea of if you keep teasing for a long time, eventually people think, okay, you're just teasing us, and then actually hit you, and then it feels even bigger. Maybe that's their idea. But overall, I think that this storyline is really working. I think that the whole story is built around, obviously Heyman and, built around Reigns and Zayn, but what I'm going to say is that I think that this test for SmackDown is actually a test of Paul Heyman rather than it's a test of Sami Zayn. because I think that they could do something, and again, I've heard this as well, but obviously not like spoilers or anything along those lines, but just people spoke about it, and I kind of think that it would be a good way to go, is if you have Heyman convince Sammy, or tell Sammy that the Tribal Chief wants him to be on SmackDown now after saying on Raw he doesn't want him there. Sammy turns up, Reigns gets upset, and in the end he actually abuses or like calls out Paul Heyman for being the one that brings him to SmackDown instead, and realigns himself fully with Sami Zayn, and then Sami Zayn helps him defeat Kevin Owens, and you extend it on further. That would be how I would do it if you had a lot of time to play with, but realistically, the time you have to play with is until, not even WrestleMania, until Elimination Chamber. Because you're going to want to do Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns in Montreal.
So like, they just can't do like Kevin Owens has another match and then that's the end of it, and then we move on. And you have to do Kevin and Sami against the Usos at WrestleMania. People are going to wonder why didn't you do the Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns match at any point? And Roman Reigns in the Elimination Chamber with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn and a bunch of other people just doesn't hit the same. So it's like you're running really low on time here to have that turn.
You know what you can do at this point? Just put all 6 of them in the chamber itself. Make the chamber Sami, Kevin, and the rest of the bloodline, and let the story play out as it will. Because that would at least be different and maybe a little fun.
I think fundamentally, Reigns is going to win this match and he's going to retain the championship. The actual mechanics of how that happens, I'm not too sure about because they've left open a lot of possibilities, which is a good thing. So even whether Sami does get involved, or the Usos get involved, or Solo, or whether it's just Reigns saying he wants everyone to stay back because he just wants to deal with Owens and he deals with the problem himself, or there's some watched interference by Zayn, but Reigns manages to claw his way to victory regardless. Who knows? But I think that fundamentally, you can't not have Sami Zayn in the Royal Rumble match. Even if you decide on SmackDown to be fundamentally clear that Zayn is not going to be in the Royal Rumble match, if he's not in the Royal Rumble match, the crowd's going to hijack the Rumble match. So
that is the thing I'm afraid of. That's what I think you need to see. He's not in the Rumble. Because
well, here's the other. If they say that he's not in the Rumble, they'll hijack the Rumble from the get-go.
Because I think everybody's looking forward to Cody, though.
I think a lot of people are still thinking that The Rock's going to pop up too.
I fundamentally think that, and maybe I'm just like leaning too much into internet fan culture or whatever you want to talk about. I think that if it came down to a final 2 of Cody and Sami Zayn or The Rock and Sami Zayn, everyone would want Sami Zayn to win.
Well, yeah, that's exactly why I think you need to keep Sami Zayn out of this match.
Yeah.
But if he's not in this match, then the crowd will just boo. It will be a Daniel Bryan situation. So the crowd will boo whoever wins, or they'll cheer some other underdog. Let's say the final 3 comes down to Cody, Rock, and I don't know,
Chad Gable.
Yeah, Chad Gable, Johnny Gargano or something. They're going to cheer for Chad Gable, Johnny Gargano to win this match instead. It's not even a case of like disliking Cody. He's coming back at the wrong time. He's coming back at a time when there's a clear story to someone winning the title at WrestleMania, and if they don't do it, then they're just that's it. Just another case. It's a different face running the show, but they're just sticking to the same routine, which is this is our guy that we're going to make the world champion, whether you guys want us to or not. They're beating the same drum. And yet people say, oh, Cody's a more popular choice than Roman was back in 2014, or some other people that they've forced down your throat as WWE champion, and maybe that's the case, but it's still the wrong guy in people's minds. A lot of people now, their minds are fully set on, Sami Zayn has to be the guy to beat Roman Reigns and win the title.
Yeah, I mean, they are setting themselves up for a potential backlash when it comes to that, and they should have learned from their mistakes in the past that if there is a groundswell of support for somebody and you don't figure out a way to counteract that and just assume, whatever, they'll get on board with what we want them to, it's kind of a dangerous game.
Well, that's my general point as well, is that why would you want to go against it? Why don't you just make Sami Zayn the world champion at WrestleMania? Why don't you just run with it? Like, that's the story. Everyone's behind that story. Everyone would be so happy if that was the end. Because it's not like when Kofi Kingston got that big push towards Kofi Mania. He was like, oh, how are we going to get whoever else in the title picture instead? We have to bury this Kofi Kingston thing. And maybe in a they did try and do that, but nobody would have accepted that, and people would be upset about it, and they'd be upset about this one as well. I don't know why so many people were very keen on the idea of getting across the fact that Sami Zayn can't, like, not so much about the fan base in general, but everyone who is very convinced that Cody is going to win the Royal Rumble, why there's a fixation on saying, oh, they shouldn't have done this with Sami Zayn. It's like, well, they should be doing this with Sami Zayn, and then they should follow through with it as well. Like, unfortunately for Cody, because that's the whole story of him coming back, I think that it doesn't make any sense for him to win the Royal Rumble beyond the fact that they had that story months and months ago when he first came back by saying he wants to win the title. Well, to be fair, he's got a story coming straight back. He wants to take on Seth Rollins because the guy who injured him beforehand, and Rollins doesn't have a title right now. So you just make it, a grudge match to WrestleMania if you wanted to. I know that's like repeating it, but that's the story that makes sense to him to go after Rollins rather than to just completely forget about the guy that took him out of action and still in kayfabe terms. So I think that fundamentally for this match, before diving into the 2 Royal Rumble matches, that Reigns will retain the championship, but in terms of how he does it or who gets involved, I have no idea. There's just too many possibilities.
Yeah, I think that they kind of, oddly enough, this is one of those situations where they book themselves into a corner, like Rob said, but they book themselves into 3 corners instead of just allowing themselves the full room. Because if you look at it from the angle of, okay, well, we're going for the biggest marquee match possible, and we've been setting this up for like 8 years at this point with the 2015 Royal Rumble. Roman Reigns versus The Rock is what they should be doing. Like, they should have locked that shit down 100%. They've flat out said that that's their goal, was to do that match. And they've teased it since, very heavily teased it for years, but they've, like, hammered down the point more so in these past, like, 4 years of, like, maybe this is the year that Roman's fighting The Rock. And then, well, Hollywood's probably when we're going to do it. And we're going to do it in Hollywood, we're going to do it in Hollywood. Copy and paste every year. And now we are at a point where it's like, well, I don't know if The Rock's going to pop up at all, or if they're just feeding that story to be like, we got you, we pulled all the dirt sheets and The Rock's doing it. But in the meantime, they've created this situation with Cody Rhodes and Sami Zayn where if it's not The Rock and it's not Cody and it's not Sami Zayn, there isn't an option for Roman Reigns. That makes sense. The Stone Cold thing is a marquee match, but nothing at all has indicated that it's heading in that direction, and I honestly don't think it's going to be the case, but Austin's not going to come in and win the Royal Rumble and do that, and then everybody will wonder what the hell they've been doing with everybody else. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn have a built-in thing where they can do the tag team title match, but you need to get the Roman Reigns thing out of the way, and you do need to prepare for the Royal Rumble backlash if that ends up being the case. Cody is in a situation where he needs to win that WWE and or Universal Championship somehow, in some way, at some point, without waiting too long. But hey, maybe you shouldn't have had Roman unify those titles and keep them unified for all this time, because you could very easily have had a situation where Cody's fighting somebody else to get that, and then you don't have to do Cody versus Roman. Because there's nothing that's inherently Cody needs to beat Roman for the title. He just needs to win the title. So they could have done that weird thing we had heard about, like, Drew McIntyre wins at Clash of the Castle, but then it ends up being some kind of weird Money in the Bank thing, and they could have done all sorts of. We had pitched before the idea of a ladder match where somebody gets one title, somebody else gets the other title, and the Austin Theory element of everything, and they could have set up a situation where it could have been like, all right, well, it's either Sammy or The Rock against Roman, and it's Cody against the other champion. That would have been the best case scenario, I think. But no scenario in this, at least from my perspective, is Kevin Owens walking in as a champion. I can't picture them splitting the belts through this match, and I can't picture him beating Roman and just being the champion heading into Mania, or Roman wins the title back and they just said temporary switch, haha. So whatever they do, whether it's like Sammy goes for a haluva kick and he ends up kicking Roman, and then the Usos break the pinfall up, and then that ends up being like, I almost lost the title, so you're out. Or maybe there is something about like Roman gets turned on by Sami Zayn, but the referee is down, or like there's something to this match for sure. It's not going to be straight up like Roman just beats Kevin Owens because Sami Zayn and the Usos and Solos go interfere and they cost Kevin Owens. Something's happening. But ultimately, I think we all are heading in that direction of Roman still retains, and then question marks about how the hell they follow it up and what they do with Sami Zayn, what they do with Elimination Chamber, and what they do with Mania, and maybe we get a clarification by the time SmackDown happens. I don't know. So I'm going to go Roman Reigns.
Yeah, Roman retains the championship.
Final pick, Rob?
Roman, obviously.
You said Roman?
Roman.
Okay. Didn't know if it was Owens or Roman. Or Romans. Yeah. So that kind of then, of course, carries over into the Men's Royal Rumble, but let's go over to the Women's Royal Rumble because we have more unknowns about that than the men's, because right now, 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Tuesday before the Saturday Royal Rumble, 6 women have been confirmed for the Royal Rumble match. And that is the first talking point. Last year, they randomly said, here's 19. Just flat out went, it's this one, this one, this one. And some of them were big announcements too. It was like, Mickey James is going to be in the match. You're like, what? And like, Kelly Kelly and all these like legends, like you're spoiling the match last year. Now it's a different creative team, so to speak. We don't really know about Lauren Evans. Maybe they have a different approach, but I'm not liking this approach of having people that are very clearly going to be in this match that they do not seem to want to confirm in some fashion, because I'm looking at my list right now. I put a thing on EWN before about, actually no, it's 7 women that have been announced, not 6. Looking at the wrong sheet for that. They haven't put a lot of people in there that you would assume are just obvious, because they like there's no way that they're not going to be in there, including Bayley, Dakota Kai, Io Sky, Becky Lynch. Like, yeah, you can play around with the idea of we haven't seen Asuka for a while, so maybe Asuka isn't in it. And maybe Carmella's not in it because she's been out for a while, and maybe Doudrop's not in it because she's been out for a while, and maybe for a lot of these different names, but they've been building up Lacey Evans as making her like 5th return in 2 years or whatever. She's got to be in it. Dana Brooke's got to fill a spot. So Dana Brooke, she's there doing nothing. They'll throw her in there. Meet Chin or Mia Yim. I would assume Natty. I would assume Nikki Cross. I would assume maybe Tamina, Tegan Knox, Valhalla, Xia Li. And then you got all the other, I mean, Ronda Rousey's been supposedly ruled out for the Royal Rumble, but I don't necessarily buy into that. B-Fab and Maxine Dupree and Scarlett are on there, but none of them really are priority wrestlers, so maybe they don't. I got a couple people that I think are probably going to make returns or surprises that I think, obviously, they shouldn't just announce ahead of time because that spoils the fun, but even still, like, I think that there's a good chance Naomi is in this. And I think that you don't announce her ahead of time, but you announce Tamina maybe or something. Like, why do you guys think that they haven't announced the obvious names like the Becky Lynch's and the Baileys and such?
Okay. I guess that's the overriding assumption I'm getting. Because, again, people need to understand that despite change in leadership at the top and elements of the product getting better, like, Triple H was around when the company was doing shit as well, and he does have like, a voice in creative, or he had influence behind the scenes. It's not like he knows 100% what he's doing. I think he doesn't know what women are going in the Rumble yet, but he knows he's winning it, and then they'll just fill the rest of it with whoever they can find. They're probably looking to try and see how many like legends they can get involved in it, and then, okay, so we've got, I don't know, 5 or 6 surprise entrants, or however many, 10, depends on the women's ones in history. So you have like, okay, we've got 10 special guests, and now we just need to fill the numbers, and then this person's going to win it, and let's go. So that's my assumption, is the reason why they haven't announced more people to be in the Rumble match is because they're waiting to see how many people they can get that aren't currently under contract that can add some star power into this match, because, oh damn, this is going to have a very little amount of star power. The non-announcement of people like Bayley and Becky is a bit perplexing, because they're the actual people that do have that credibility and that star power that would add to the Rumble match.
Because that's what's confusing to me about it more than anything, is if we had 7 people that were announced for this, but they were the 7 biggest names that were obvious, at least, because obviously you don't want to announce, like, on the men's side of the thing, like, if The Rock pops up, they're not going to want to announce ahead of time, it'll be a surprise, but like, Liv Morgan, yeah, Raquel Rodriguez, Rhea Ripley, Shayna Baszler, but they've got Candice and Emma and Zelina, and look, I'm a fan of, somebody like Zelina Vega. I think that she's underrated in a lot of ways, but Zelina Vega's been primarily a manager, and that they prioritized making Zelina Vega say, I'm officially announced for the Royal Rumble, and not Bayley or Becky. And then, Emma gets announced on the SmackDown Lowdown, and it's like, Emma's done fuck all since she's been back, and you didn't announce, like, Damage Control? What? So, I don't know if it's necessarily that they are trying to figure out how many spots that they want, because why would you announce the people that are realistically lower on the totem pole? Because if you need to cut somebody on the match, you're not going to cut Becky, you're going to cut Candice. You're not going to cut Rhea, you're going to cut Emma. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. You obviously going to prioritise the bigger names. Maybe it's just the fact that they didn't know what was happening with some of the bigger names yet, or maybe they want the bigger names to be surprises, because realistically the Rumbles sell themselves. So maybe you don't need to just straight up announce it and then it makes people more interested than they would be in there. But realistically, people should understand that Bayley and Becky are going to be in it, and then for some reason they're not in it, then it just makes it seem really weird. Like, why are 2 of the top stars who are seemingly not injured and appearing every week on Raw not appearing in the Royal Rumble? So why not just announce them? Yeah, there's no real sense to it other than the fact that they've just been forgetting and been like lazy about it.
Yeah, I'm very confused about it, but nevertheless, what we've got going on right here with the way that we are doing our predictions and stuff, and this is something I wanted to factor in with explaining how this all is going to work. There is at least if you're, not the mock draft, what am I doing here? If you're on the YouTube side of things, you can see on your screen right now, this is the Royal Rumble predictions contest, and there's got a points breakdown and everything. I have not filled it out yet, so that's why you can see things the way that it is right now, instead of like my answers and such. But what we're doing for this, it's completely voluntary. Obviously, you don't need to take part in this if you don't want to, but we are factoring in our fantasy league and opening that up with everybody else to be able to join in on this fun too. For all sorts of different predictions, the supplemental picks of like who's going to have the shortest time in the Royal Rumbles and who will eliminate the most people, who's going to be in the final four, etc., etc. But we also have the 1 to 30 entrants, and this is for the men's and the women's. So by the time the kickoff starts on the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, not before the Royal Rumble matches, it's just going to stop at the kickoff. I'll shut the poll off, and you won't be able to vote on this anymore. But we're not going to break that down today, what our entrants are and stuff. We'll talk about some of the other little things like the shortest and longest time and all. I've been trying to work on my idea of who those filling in the spots kind of people are, and I've got a few names in mind, and I'm going to spoil what my ideas are and everything, because ultimately, look, it doesn't matter to me if I win or lose this. I'm not going to have money on bet on this thing. So let's talk about the idea of surprises and people that you think can be in this match that they obviously haven't announced yet that you are expecting, or people you hope are going to be in there, or anything along those lines. Before we get into like the complete outsiders, what about NXT talent? Because that's a group that they can pick from, and they could always fill in tons of names from there.
So the ones that I thought were most likely from NXT, the ones I probably put down to my list, I'm thinking Cora Jade.
She's definitely on my list.
Nikita Lyons.
Yep.
Sol Ruka.
I thought about her too.
Because she can walk on her hands. That's literally the only reason I put her in. It's like the same reason they put Casey Cansaro in, because she can climb the poles, could climb the turnbuckles. She can walk on her hands, so she can take herself from elimination that way, and it'd be a cool stuff. But everyone will be talking about, hey, look at this cool thing Sol Ruka did before she just goes back down to NXT. And then the other one I had is Mako Satomura.
So Mako is not on that list for me.
Yeah, depending on her availability, of course. But they're the four that I had listed for my picks for NXT.
I had a few other ones that I thought are potentially in the running. I don't feel super duper high on almost anybody, but I think that, relatively speaking, in the past we've seen a lot of people that, hey, this year they go with like, I think it was Ember Moon went in as the NXT champion, and then we've got people like Adam Cole's been in things, and Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae, and there's no rhyme or reason for who they pick for the Royal Rumble. Even Bo Dallas was in way before when he was in NXT. Sometimes they go with somebody who they just like, and sometimes they go with people that seem to be a priority. So I think that those people that you mentioned are definitely in the running. I think that Blair Davenport could possibly pop up. I could see Alba Fire being in it. I could see Gigi Dolan and JC Jane, but not as much anymore. And I think one of the main reasons why is because I think if you have a match for NXT Vengeance Day that you're a priority on, they're less likely to put you in there. So I think that rules out Roxanne for me. I think Ivy Niles got a shot. I think Indy Hartwell could potentially be in the match, especially if they do something with like Indy and Candice having some kind of interaction and just kind of playing off of that. There is a chance that they go with somebody that's like a complete just, hey, I wasn't expecting Wendy Chu, but she pops up for something fun. But I'm more than anybody leaning towards either Nikita, Cora, or Zoe Stark.
So, Fightful did report that it's not necessarily the case this time around, where the past couple years they've been like, no, NXT, it's a separate entity altogether. And because of that, I'm going to say pretty comfortably Roxanne and Cora should have spots in this Royal Rumble. I also like Alan's idea that Sol Ruka can walk on her hands. That is something they like in the Royal Rumbles, and it might even elevate her to the main roster way quick. Outside of that, I can't see them doing Alba Fire. I can't see them doing Isla Dawn right now. I just think that Roxanne and Cora will get the nod because they're like the pillars of the NXT women's division, and they like to give them as many opportunities as possible. Like they've already done Raw and SmackDown, and I can see them definitely being in this Royal Rumble.
Now, outside, I also thought Tiffany Stratton and Thea Hale were two that were like, hey, maybe who fucking knows, but I don't think
Thea Hale I would welcome with open arms, and Stratton, I think she's going to be a star. Tiffany Stratton just has so much charisma. I'm going to go for it.
I think she's in a prime position to take over the Mandy Rose spot in a lot of ways. Yeah. Good timing for Tiffany. But other people that can be in this match that are just outside of it entirely, maybe they're in another company, maybe they are a free agent, maybe they're not necessarily signed, whatever it might be. Naomi is technically signed still, I guess, with WWE, but I think that she's going to make her return here, and she's actually one of my favorites to win, because I could see a scenario where she joins the Bloodline and challenges either Charlotte or Bianca. She's not my favorite, she's not my pick, but she's one of those options that I'm like, I don't know. I can see her potentially coming back here. What do you guys think?
I think that they're cowards and they would never put her in the Bloodline because they had that chance and didn't do it. And I think the Bloodline story should be nearing its completion in some ways with this upcoming WrestleMania. I do think Naomi will be in this Royal Rumble because she's never more over than when she came back in that other Royal Rumble, where people were just like floored by her athleticism, even though she's been doing this for well over 10 years. But I do think she'll be here.
I have Naomi down for a turn at the Rumble as well.
Heel or face?
Face, start with. She'll have the whole glow dancing entrance thing.
You can be one of the first two if you want to make that glow entrance proper.
Yeah. Yeah, you're nay on Ronda Rousey being in the match.
I'm going to say nay. I trust Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, I've decided to heat that warning and not put her in the Rumble as well.
I am leaning more towards her not being in it too. I think that if they wanted to have her win and fight Charlotte, I would just go crazy because I'd be like, my God, I don't want to see that. This is insane to have her just win the match and then do the same thing that she did last year. And I don't think it's as likely as some other options for her to win and challenge Bianca. So more than likely, I think that they're going to keep her out of here to excuse not having somebody eliminate her. It's just like, look, take her out of it because she's not going to win it. That's our excuse for that.
Before the switch to Survivor Series not being Raw versus SmackDown, I was really interested in seeing her against Bianca. I have zero interest in seeing her fight at WrestleMania.
Yep,
I want Ronda to fight one person at WrestleMania, and I'm the only one on this podcast that does. You gotta do the damn thing match, and I think it'll actually be even better if you have no belts on the line, because you should be able to have women's matches just like the men's that don't involve championship belts.
Yeah, you're nay on Beth Phoenix.
Yay.
But no, because if, well, yeah, Well, yeah, it might spoil picking that regard because if Becky picks in the match, she has to take out Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, I mean, she is on my list. I haven't done my 1 to 30 yet. I might bounce around a little bit. And of course, if SmackDown happens and they end up saying, like, here's, 22 out of the 24 people that are remaining in this match or something, then, that might be the case. But I think in the same kind of way, Beth being in the match to eliminate Rhea makes a lot of sense. If Beth pops up and fails to eliminate Rhea, I'm not going to understand the point in it. So maybe Beth pops up after the fact. I don't know. Kind of depends on the player.
A report or two that was like, Edge is going to fight Finn Balor in Hell in a Cell at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I'm really glad that didn't pan out. But I hope that that's not because we plan on doing that at WrestleMania because I don't care about Edge versus Finn. You throw it in Hell in a Cell or not, I don't care to see that anymore.
Yeah, I'm good on that. I would have enjoyed it here, but good on it. I mean,
I would have enjoyed it months ago when it was like, you don't spend a year doing Edge against AJ Styles versus the Judgment Day, Finn Balor in there in the Judgment Day, and not, that this whole Judgment Day thing kind of a bust in a lot of ways to me. Two people that I have down on my possible list of people that can be in this match are Chelsea Green and Deonna Purrazzo.
Chelsea Green will absolutely be in this Royal Rumble match. Deonna Purrazzo, the jury's out. I want her in this match, but I think Chelsea Green will absolutely get her Royal Rumble moment, even though she's not been in one before, but I think this is the one where she actually stays.
Yeah, Chelsea Green, down for this.
Yeah, I think she should win this.
Deonna, no. Deonna.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong if you guys know. Deonna is not under contract right now with Impact, right?
I was under the belief that she hadn't been under contract for a while, but checked. Sure.
Last time I checked, it seemed like it was like she was on, like, just kind of doing appearances afterward, yeah.
But she is still doing stuff for Impact, at least.
Mm.
At least, as of the last pay-per-view, she was doing stuff for Impact, so.
Anybody else you guys think might show up here? Because we did get that thing about that they are planning on doing, like, unconventional surprises and stuff. Do you think we're going to get another, like, Mickie James holding the Impact Women's Championship?
She's still the Impact Knockout Champion. I think it'd be funny if they just did it again.
They throw in, like, Camille from NWA, or they throw in, Kyrie from New Japan, or, like, anything crazy ideas, you guys?
You're going to throw in Kyrie out. I guess they're going to fix something right after. But for the women's, no, I think that'll be more like, you'll get your Kelly, who's been in, I think, every women's Royal Rumble.
No, she's been in 3. She has a shit amount of time, though. I calculated that. She lasts one of the lowest amounts each time.
You'll get Candice Michelle, I think. I think a lot of interviews. Sure, she lives in Texas. Let her be in the Royal Rumble.
Victoria?
Maybe. She's still in great shape. She's still, I think Lita, since she was rumored for Raw, and wasn't on that. Maybe you got Lita at the Royal Rumble. I'm trying to think of any other legends or...
I've got Victoria down on mine. I've got Molly Holly down.
Molly Holly's been 3 of the 5.
Yeah, and she works for the company, so that's a good possibility that she
Linda Blaze was on Raw.
Yeah, I've got Linda Blaze in as well. Just to, she was on Raw, so she probably would turn up. It seems like, none of the other twins I imagine will be in it. So.
Yeah, at this point, I don't think about something.
I tell you, I've had enough Royal Rumble appearance.
But, to be honest, I've kind of not really thought... I've put a few, legends in NXT people, but I've kind of just stuck with people who are currently on the roster because the likelihood is, just for the sake of the prediction contest, you're more likely to just get people right that are appearing in the match if you just go with the main roster, and then just, okay, a couple of them are clearly not going to be in it, we'll get all of them right. If you want to go super bizarre, then you would go someone like a Kyrie, but I don't know whether they...
Oh, wait, she'll come back here.
I don't have Asuka on mine.
Really?
I think she's injured. I think she's out still.
Oh.
Well, we know Aaliyah's injured, Shotzi is injured, and I'm blanking off anybody else offhand. Carmella's been out for a while. She had like an unfortunate pregnancy issue or something, however many months back. So it's like, she's been every single Royal Rumble, but then again, she didn't have these complications before, so maybe not Carmella. Like
Natalia's technically injured.
She's also Natalia. I expect her to throw her.
Yeah, no, I still think she's going to be in it.
Is that a real injury, or I thought it was?
Yeah, no, it's real.
Yeah, she's really injured.
No. So yeah, I mean,
but she'll find a way to get in. It's a Rumble. You don't need to be 100% to do it. I don't think Doudrop will return in this one.
she said she was like sick or something, right?
No, it's reported to put onto. It's listed on the Wikipedia to take over credit. It's listed as mental health problems.
Oh, I thought it was a thing.
She tweeted, I was really sick, so whatever that means, I'll just take that. Some kind of health issue.
Yeah.
You can. It's just mad. It's pulling the draws. Yeah, Trish has only been in 1 Royal Rumble, the first one, so I'm not expecting her. Tori's been in 2. So Tori, Alicia Fox, Summer Rae popped up in the last one. Like there's plenty of people that they can call on to fill spots.
Michelle McCool said she won't be there, but I'm pretty sure if you run into a jam, you can find a spot.
Michelle McCool's been in 2 of them. Last year's the first one. There's a lot of people that have been in the Royal Rumble before that I think you can definitely count out. Like, Mercedes Martinez is not going to be on this one, and I don't think Mandy Rose is going to make a return. I don't expect Lana to make a return by any means. Yeah, I don't think they're going to prioritize bringing Jillian Hall back or anything, but you never really know. I mean,
the first grandmother to be.
It's insane. I do think that there is a chance that they do something a little bit strange, but at this point, I'm leaning much more towards they've got a lot of people on the main roster, and then they've got a lot of people that they can pull from NXT. So Chelsea is really the only quote-unquote outsider that may even still be signed with the company that we don't know for sure. That I think is,
says she is signed to WWE and has been.
Yeah, but I mean, who knows? We don't know for sure because she's not actually popping up. But I think that she's pretty much guaranteed. Yeah, maybe so. So I mean, predictions as far as the surprises go, that kind of covers all that. Let's get into some of the other little elements of this. Let's get into who do you think is going to last the longest, and why is Liv Morgan?
Look, they're really leaning into that. I still think the fucking Rumble should. And listen, I had to take care of something. I wasn't available. But I still think the fucking Royal Rumble should start off with Bayley and Becky Lynch. And I think that they should go pretty damn far. The fact to me that you haven't announced 2 of your biggest female stars is egregious, and I don't understand what this company is doing with its women's. It seems like they're just doing this match because, well, we fucking said we would do a women's Royal Rumble every year. Because I have no hype. There's no like, ooh, maybe it'll be Charlotte against, give me somebody, Charlotte against Becky. Maybe it'll be, like, what's the only thing we've heard so far as for, like, oh, well, Rio might win and fight Bianca. All due respect, love both of those girls. That wasn't good enough to headline Money in the Bank in July, and I don't want to see it headline any night of WrestleMania. I don't know what they're doing. I think Becky and Bayley should start it off and last the longest.
Who's your pick then for the last and longest?
Bayley and Becky, number 1, number 2.
And then I'll have
last the longest.
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay, so that's fair. I think Bayley will last last one.
I mean, technically speaking, they both could be eliminated at the exact same time by somebody else, but
I'll go with Bailey. I think Bailey has the ability to do that.
I've got Becky going the longest.
Becky, see, I kind of agree with you guys about Becky, and to a certain extent, and this is, I'm putting the same things, copying and pasting a lot of the same ideas on multiple different articles over these past couple days. So I don't think this is published yet for Bleacher Report, but I broke down my most eliminations, longest in the ring, and so on and so forth. No, it is not quite posted yet. It's coming up, I think, tomorrow morning. Liv Morgan said she wants to be number one, and I'm not going to go against that and say that they're going to set that up and then not do it. So Liv Morgan is my pick, but I think just because you're number one doesn't mean that you are going to last the longest. And if you go to the page on Smarkoutmoment.com, their handy dandy little guide for Smarkoutmoment's statistics for the Royal Rumble and all. The tendency for somebody to win the longest Iron Man or Iron Woman spot doesn't necessarily mean you're number one. It's almost always somebody in the first five.
Number 5 spot, I think.
But we've gotten Bam Bam Bigelow in 1994. He was the longest lasting then, and he was entry number 15. Test in 2000 was number 10. Austin, 2002, 19. John Cena, 19, and number 2010. So you don't have to be within the first 2 or 3 to last the longest. It's just that you typically do. I mean, 88, number 1, 89, number 4, 90, number 1, 92, number 3, etc., etc., etc. So somebody like Becky can be number 4 and last longer in the match than Liv Morgan at number 1, just because Liv Morgan gets eliminated at the time number 21 comes out, and Becky lasts until the final 4. So keep that in mind. But I do think that I'm going to lean towards Liv Morgan being the longest, because I think she's got a good chance to make it until at least close to the final 4, and I don't know if Becky will necessarily be one of the first 4 or 5. She could be around the middle range or so. If it's not Liv, then I'm going Becky. Shortest time in this. I don't think we're going to get a comedic spot for the women's thing this year. I think if you go for anybody that kind of gets somebody's going to last the shortest, just by default. Somebody has to last the shortest amount of time. I don't think this is going to be one of these years where they book that, and they go like, it'd be kind of funny if Valhalla comes in there and immediately gets tossed out, or Zelina comes in there and, poses, and then somebody picks her up and tosses her into the front row. I think it's just going to be somebody lasts the least amount of time by default, and I think it's unfortunately going to be Dana Brooke.
As you said that, I said, oh, that's a great spot for B-Fab. I'll go with B-Fab.
I mean, that's the way to get her in there. She doesn't have a whole lot of experience wrestling right now, and you can put her in there, and then have somebody just quickly eliminate her, and if she can't do that, then maybe there's no reason for her to be on the roster,
Yeah, I'll stick with B-Fab.
I'm just randomly plucked Tamina.
Tamina, oddly enough, I thought about her before, because I was like, Tamina can't possibly have lasted a long time in a lot of these. And she, she's got some bad times, 39 seconds in 2020, a minute 34 in 2018. But 2022, she lasted 16 minutes and 41 seconds. I'm like, damn, she lasted pretty damn long. She lasted longer than a lot of, Sasha Banks was out in 9 minutes and 44 seconds. She lasted almost more than double the amount of time as Sasha. Double the amount of time as Nikki Bella, double than Naomi, 5 minutes more than Mickey, just shy of Michelle McCool. She lasted a while in 2022, so I'm not going to count Tamina out too much. Especially because she might not even be in a match. Probably not. They might just be like, we're not going to win this year. I do think that, unfortunately, Xia Li runs a risk of this. And the thing that sucks about that is it's just because they perpetually don't seem to want to use Xia Li for anything. Like, she'll pop up for a quick match every, 5 weeks or so. So, I don't know if I go, down on her or what, but it wouldn't shock me if Xia Li comes in here and she's gone in, 90 seconds. And they just go, fucking whatever. I'm going to go Dana Brooke, because she really doesn't last long. She's, her longest time ever was in 2019, and it was 7 minutes. As far as Final Four goes, and this kind of works into our predictions of who's going to win the match, I think we're looking at a situation where I'm going to go Raquel Rodriguez, Becky Lynch, Rhea Ripley, and the fourth one I'm kind of bouncing around between right now, because I thought maybe Phoenix, maybe Liv Morgan, maybe Shayna Baszler. So I don't know what I'm going to eventually settle on, but I do think Raquel, Becky, and Rhea are going to be 3 of the 4. And I think that right now I'm leaning towards Rhea Ripley winning the Royal Rumble.
So my final 4 that I have listed are Rhea Ripley, Raquel Rodriguez, Bayley, and Liv Morgan. And I think that I agree that Rhea Ripley is my favourite at the moment to win the Royal Rumble.
I'm going to go with Rhea, Raquel, Becky, Bayley. And I'm going to go with Rhea wins the Royal Rumble because she probably already should have. I would also, honorable mention, they don't give her much of anything anymore, but Shayna Baszler is in this match. Would love to see her win just because.
Oh, I forgot to talk about most eliminations. I was forgetting something. Shayna's got a good chance for that. She set the record before, and if they want to make her a strong challenger for Charlotte Flair or something, then she'd get the most eliminations. But I think it's between Rhea and Shayna for the power game of the most eliminations. But I think there's a chance that Liv Morgan or Becky just lasts a long time and gets an elimination every couple of eliminations or so.
I think it speaks volumes to how she's booked that you didn't say Raquel for this.
Oh, I didn't?
No, you said Rhea and Shayna.
Oh, I thought I said Rhea and Shayna and Raquel. But yeah, Raquel strikes me as the type that I think she might get a little bit of a Roman Reigns from 2014 situation where she eliminates the most amount of people, but she doesn't win, and that she's the last person that Rhea eliminates.
I could see that. I think there would be an interest there if you get down to those 2. I'm going to suggest it goes down to Rhea and Becky, and then interference from Damage Control leads to Rhea Ripley getting Becky over. I think Rhea should take the most eliminations this year because she's body slamming men, and she's doing all this stuff, and it's time to pay that off with a really dominant performance. And hopefully she has a great road to WrestleMania.
I think if you're in this situation where you don't really have a standout challenger for either of the titles, then you need to do something in the Rumble to make them the standout. And that have been really the main woman that's been getting a lot of attention on Raw in recent months has been Rhea Ripley outside of the title picture, and the stuff between Becky and Damage Control. But realistically, Rhea's on TV every week, and she's usually doing something standout impressive. You'd be getting one of the male rivals face instead. So they're doing a lot to build her up, and I think that it would push her over the edge if she not only won the Royal Rumble, but also had a very dominant performance in it as well. So Rhea would be my choice for most eliminations.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that no matter who wins, no matter who's champion, I don't think the women's matches at this year's WrestleMania will be as hyped up and featured as they have been since 2019. I don't see a situation where we really get a women's main event. I could be getting wrong. It could be like Ronda versus Bianca, or Becky versus Ronda, or Becky Charlotte. But I really think that this year is going to be a lot of focus around the two men's championships, and I think that's going to lead to some issues in terms of who wins. They have not had a strong, women's roster. I mean, Becky and Bianca have been great, but you can't rely on them for another year. So I think that, Ripley's going to win it, but I think that ultimately she'll be opening one of the nights of WrestleMania.
I think that this is Ripley's match to win. Believe it or not. Ripley's, believe it or not. But maybe we disagree when it comes to the men's. I don't know. Breaking that down, we've got the same sort of setup. So, obviously keep this all in mind with your predictions contest stuff. But surprises that you think are going to be in the Royal Rumble. We talked about some of these names already, so let's kind of backtrack and talk about them again. Yay or nay? Does The Rock show up?
No.
That's a threefer. I don't think The Rock's going to be in this. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Maybe. I'll say maybe.
I'm going to say no. It'd be kind of interesting.
Number 30. I'll just say that.
If he does, he's number 30 and he wins. Yeah. And then he becomes, definitively the Royal Rumble winner of all time because then he's shattered the record and all.
Which is no record.
Yep. But at that point, it's I know he's beating it. But I'm going to say no to Stone Cold being on here. I don't think we're going to see the Rattlesnake. I do think we might see him at WrestleMania, but I don't think he's going to be in the Royal Rumble match and or fighting Roman Reigns. I think if he does do something, he'll either not wrestle and pop up at WrestleMania, or he'll wrestle somebody else in just another, hey, Stone Cold wrestling type thing. But I don't even think that's going to happen. Returning people. DNA on Edge.
Yeah.
I put no for the time being.
I think he's guaranteed. What makes you lean towards no?
I forgot he existed.
That is the heartbreaking truth of this Edge run, isn't it? It's just they really, it went from this miraculous comeback to oh yeah, he's there.
It's one of those things that I'm pretty sure you're right, he will be in it, but I can't be asked to change my predictions.
Who knows? Maybe not having Edge in there is the thing that throws off somebody else that's going to end up winning that. Yeah, Randy Orton.
I hope so.
No,
I haven't thought about it, so I'm going to say no, but as you said that, my immediate reaction is, God, I hope so.
I can copy paste what you guys are saying. I really hope so, but I don't think he's going to be in it.
I don't think that makes sense.
Well, I'm echoing the hope so from Rob and I don't think so. No, I don't think that he's going to be back from his injury and ready to go and all. Especially because I don't know, maybe they have a different booking philosophy here, but I don't think you need to put everybody in the Royal Rumble as a surprise when you can do surprises on the road to WrestleMania. So that way you can kind of spread yourselves a little thinner. Because realistically, if you have two big surprises in the Royal Rumble, that's good enough. And I'd rather see Randy Orton pop up 2 weeks from now or something. But I do think that Matt Riddle's returning.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide on whether he'll be number 4 or number 20. Yeah, Matt Riddle is definitely.
And if Orton were healthy, I think we would see those two do something in the Royal Rumble and lead towards a match at WrestleMania. But at this point, I don't think we're going to get that necessarily. So if we don't, there's no point putting Orton in the Royal Rumble and risking his, taking a bump like that to lose the match when you can set up a match with Riddle, after Elimination Chamber by just having him come out and do one RKO. I don't think he's going to be in the Royal Rumble.
I'm just thinking about the pop. The fan energy level rise.
Definitely would. I mean, if he was feeling good enough and all, you can't go wrong with just incorporating better stars and stuff. John Cena.
Yes.
No. I'm 50-50 on it, but I'm leaning towards no.
I think the reason I'm saying yes is because whoever eliminates him is going to win. Or whoever eliminates him doesn't get it.
He could very easily eliminate Austin Theory and start the program there, but I think that they can get around that by having him pop up on Raw or something like that too, and having Seth or Bobby be the one that's eliminating Theory. Just kind of wrap that up a little bit.
My thing is if Theory, I don't think he will be, but if Theory was to be number 1, I'd immediately say, okay, number 2 Johnson.
I mean, that'd be fun, yeah.
Yeah.
Gable Stevenson.
I don't really care, but I'll say no.
What was yours, Cal?
No.
I copy and paste the same thing about Gable Stevenson for I think 2 years now, which is I'll believe it when I see it. This guy's been, hey, we signed Gable Stevenson, he's gonna be a big deal. Since 2018 or something, it seems.
I mean, I'll cut up some slack that he had heart problems.
Still though, I mean,
I'll still say no for now.
For all we know, that might end up not being a spot on the roster for him. What about Tyson Fury?
No.
No.
That's a good mistake right now.
3 votes for a no for me on that. The Great Muta or Keiji Muto?
Would love it. I'm gonna say no, but it should happen.
Another one I completely forgot about, but someone say no then.
If there was anything at all going on with Shinsuke Nakamura right now, then I think it would be. If he was just popping up on SmackDown and winning some matches against newbies.
Yeah,
just, Nakamura's been on a hot streak lately or anything at all. So,
have him just randomly clean house in the Royal Rumble and take it from it.
I mean, they could just have Nakamura out there and Keiji Muto pops up, but I am going to lean a little bit more towards no on that one. What about NXT talent? So, people like Roderick Strong. That's anybody's information about that? Yeah, maybe. But you got Roderick Strong, you got Jamie McDonough, you got Brock Breaker, Grayson Waller, Carmelo Hayes, Von Wagner. I mean, there's plenty of different people that can be popping up on there.
Well, it's not come Saturday, I don't think. I'm saying no to Von Wagner. I'm going to say yes to Breaker. I think Breaker should. And then have someone with a lot of credit eliminate him like a Rhodes or Rollins, and then you lose nothing.
The only NXT person I have on my list that's good for appearing is Braun Breaker.
It's interesting you guys both have him on there, because I think he's almost going to be guaranteed not to be in it.
He's big and he does big man moves.
Because I think that that's a championship, and they're just going to be like, you put anybody else in there, we'll put maybe
the only other NXT superstar I have here is Carmelo, because he's great, and he should get a spotlight.
Carmelo and Grayson Waller are kind of doing a little dance in my brain about, like, do you just put the belt on Grayson Waller at Vengeance Day, and it's like, oh man, we're starting off the year with something kind of hot? Or do you wait and put the belt on Carmelo at Stand and Deliver, and Grayson Waller goes up to the main roster, and then you show him in the Royal Rumble ahead of time to give him a little bit of a boost heading into Vengeance Day? And also, I'm leaning a little bit more towards Grayson Waller being one of the only people from NXT that's in this match. And some of the people that are, not in the NXT side of things, but rumors and speculation and all. Jake and or Logan Paul.
Logan, definitely.
I have Logan in mind.
Logan's gonna be in mine too. I think that we could even get him in the Final Four.
Essentially, it's one of the people who names John Cena. It's the easiest way to build a match with two people who can't be on every week of television.
Definitely a possibility. Matt Cardona. Or Zack Ryder. Technically, it's the same.
Because he's trademarked all the Zack Ryder IP. So, I'm 50-50, but I think there's a chance.
I'll say no for the time being. Maybe one of the ones I believe when I say don't think, because there's just been a lot of talk about it and nothing seems to be progressing.
I'm going to be that type of guy that says yes, knowing that he's probably wrong. Before the trademark stuff, I was very heavily leaning towards how he's going to do it. Then he trademarked those names. I'm like, nah, WWE would want those trademarks. That might be.
It was a way to get him back. Like, hey,
you can own a trademark.
Total Divas. Okay, y'all come back. Give me ownership of Zack Ryder. That's fine. We're gonna, whatever.
We'll be losing. Yeah, it could be the case. And I mean, if it's true that Chelsea assigned your wife's in the company now too, and that could be a good leverage kind of thing too. But I'm currently going to just put him in there because if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Who fucking cares? I'm taking a bigger risk though with this one. I think Nick Aldis is going to be in this.
I feel less confident about that. He's another one with Muda. I would love to see that happen, but I just don't know if it will.
Sorry, which was that? What name was that again?
Nick Aldis.
Yeah, again, just block out. But I'll say no.
So any outsiders I haven't mentioned you guys are thinking about possibly popping up here?
You haven't said Brock. He's not announced already, but
yeah, I mean, I have him in my list of like, I wonder why they haven't even announced. Like, they currently have 15 people announced, and they don't have Brock Lesnar, Bronson Reed, Dexter Lumis, The Miz, Shinsuke, Madcap Moss, Johnny Gargano. Like a lot of Finn Balor's not announced yet. Elias isn't announced yet. Damian Priest.
Ezekiel. I think Ezekiel.
The three faces of Elias. He's gonna come out as Elias, Ezekiel, and Elrond.
I mean, the most of the people I've listed in there are just like full-time WWE people that have already been announced for the Rumble match. So I haven't really thought too much about other outsiders that could appear. I don't think any of them really make much sense beyond the ones we mentioned, unless you're just going to do stupid. Oh, we've got Road Dogg appearing in this one, or Sean Morgan, or whoever.
Wanted to a while ago.
Didn't keep wanting.
I mean, just the whole thing on Monday with the X being like, I'm too old to fight, so I don't think any of them are gonna pop up. But
yeah, there's not many that scream out to me as potential choice. Because
Dragon Lee.
Dragon Lee's another one, yeah. Like, definitely could be a possibility.
it'll be interesting way to debut him, but
Let him be in the Rumble, let him do a good lucha thing, let someone with an ability to illuminate him, and oh wow, a new superstar.
I know people will hate us if we don't mention his name, but I know we're all going to agree here. Jay White's a no.
oh yeah, he's signed to New Japan.
Yep.
He has the lose New Japan match in a couple of weeks.
And the same for Hikuleo. Like, the match is not going to be done by the time Royal Rumble happens, so they're not going to be in the Royal Rumble.
Although I did think briefly, well, they sent Anderson, do they want Hikuleo? Like, hey, come and do our match, but I'm gonna say no.
Also booked Jay White in books for a show even later in February. The show that Sasha Banks is wrestling Kyrie on. He's wrestling Eddie Kingston. So, but yeah, that just means that it adds even more down to the idea that Jay White, well, he might still be on that New Japan show, but it feels weird. The idea is to lose New Japan. Or to be the stipulation
Lose New Japan, he can still wrestle.
Yes, he can still wrestle in America for them.
And then go WWE.
Yeah. So maybe that's not as a cut and dry, but it does mean that at least he'll have another obligation before he goes to WWE. I think we're looking, if he does come in, we're looking around about WrestleMania or post WrestleMania time.
Yeah. And I think he's going to AEW.
yeah, the more I'm thinking about, the more I'm leaning towards that.
Yeah. So, longest and shortest times. Anybody standing out to you guys?
Rollins.
Yes, that's the longest for me.
I really have been stuck with this idea that I think it was Rob had mentioned of Seth Rollins coming out at number 1, Cody Rhodes coming out at number 2.
Oh, that's what was happening.
I'm not going with that approach on my one. But it's not like it's an unreal possibility. But then again, realistically, if you're having Seth and Cody being 1 and 2, then surely you think Cody's going to be the Iron Man.
I guess. Even though we count the amount of time that Rollins is in the ring, Cody has to make that dramatic entrance. I think it's only Seth Rollins.
Well, I'll say this. I have Rhodes down as my Iron Man, and I have my Final Four as also including Seth Rollins.
Shortest time I have Mustafa Ali.
Dominic Mysterio.
I'm in a similar situation as I said for the women's. I don't think they're going to book a comedic, haha, you didn't last long spot. If they do, it's Dominic, because he's the only person on the roster that I can see them actually wanting to put in the match that they would do that kind of butt of the joke thing with. But Mustafa Ali definitely crossed my mind as far as if he gets in the match, he could just be one of those guys that they put in there and they go, and you're gone by the time the next person comes out because we really don't care about you at the moment.
And every time he shows up, he's getting his ass beat.
Yeah, that was my reason behind it. Is that every time he's now on TV, he's just losing, getting frustrated about the fact that he thinks that he's a big deal. He's literally Dolph Ziggler from about 5-10 years ago.
Maybe that's why he's trying to team up.
He's going around way more.
He's feuding with Dolph anyway.
He wants to team with him and then he's mad that Dolph doesn't want to team. It's really not a great look for Mustafa Ali at the moment. So I got to vote for Mustafa, we got to vote for Dominic. What was your scale? Mustafa?
Yeah.
And then you're going Dominic. Rob. Mine is leaning more towards Mysterio, just because I think that they might just, make a little bit of a ha-ha about it, because I thought that there was a chance that he could win the tag team titles on Monday Night Raw, and they didn't do that. So he was kind of lingering in my, well, if they make him a tag team champion, they're not going to do that. And they didn't. So now he's perfectly within range to just be like, fucking Dominic, you loser. As far as most eliminations go, I think that if you're going power, I mean, you got Braun Strowman and you got Brock Lesnar potentially in this. The two of them have the record right now. But it's not just always power. Sometimes it's longevity, sometimes it's star power. Stone Cold Steve Austin wasn't the biggest, baddest person on the roster at the time, and he would just eliminate people left and right because he's the main star. So some of the people that I think have a good chance of this are Drew McIntyre. I think Gunther has a really good chance. I can see Sheamus racking up quite a bit. Strowman, of course, as I mentioned. Brock Lesnar, as I mentioned. I don't think Brock's going to be in there super long, though, so I'm not expecting that. And I do think Cody and Seth have a good shot, but I am actually going to say Bobby Lashley gets the most eliminations.
He's high on my list, and it all depends on this one person whether or not they put him in a match, and that's Solo's go. If Solo's in, I think he gets it. If not, I'd say Bobby or they're going to my head. I'd go.
Funny enough, my initial thought was to go for Solo Sikoa.
That's funny, because I just assumed that none of the Bloodline are going to be in this match.
I think there's going to be some Bloodline presence in this match. But I am instead going to go Cody Rhodes.
Longevity thing? Or
I
do you think
think he'll literally just come in whenever he comes in and he'll just throw a load of bodies out of the ring like John Cena would do.
just a flurry of offense?
You think fuck the entrance? You're just coming in at number whatever 5 or 16 or whatever.
Yeah, I think he's going in the second half of the match.
So how would you go about doing that then? Do you think he comes out and he does like the job to the ring like most people, or do you think he kind of...
No, he's gonna fucking bolt if he's midway through.
I mean, there's that. There's also the option that they've done before with people where it's like he basically takes up 3 minutes of an entrance and they just pretend like 90 seconds didn't go by.
Well, I think they'll probably do the thing where his music hits, everyone in the rumble looks to the ramp and just sees him coming out. He takes a moment to spirit will sink in, and then he charges the ring and then he just starts eliminating people.
The best,
Pure John Cena.
the best example of this I can imagine is a rehash of the O2 Rumble where Austin's by himself and then Hunter comes out and they manage to do the stare down and you do that with Seth and not have him be number 1. But I do think there's this element of like people want that full Cody experience. It's one of the few guarantees they have on the show.
Alright, so final fours and our winners. Unless there's any other topics you guys want to touch on that we didn't talk about. Is there?
But beyond the fact that they need to make this rumble better than last year's one.
Oh well, fuck yeah.
It's as bad, if not worse, then yeah, they obviously the rumble's never ever going to die as a concept because it's just been around for too long. But it's just the idea of they're starting will be starting a negative trajectory similar to the mid 2010s, where it's just like it was almost constant how it goes bad rumble after bad rumble after bad rumble.
It's kind of one of the only reasons why, as much as Cody feels like a foregone conclusion, I want a wild pick like an Austin or a Cena or someone just to throw in a seed of doubt. Because I think sometimes when the rumble's a foregone conclusion like this, people are just going to be waiting for Cody to win. And I would like a little bit more surprise, like we talked about this. I really enjoyed the 07 Rumble, where it's like Michaels and Adrian you don't know, or, you know, a situation like that, as opposed to this, which very much feels like cut and dry. Cody Rhodes is heading towards me.
I actually do have a couple other notes of some things I think might be fun that'll be in this match. As far as like regular things that happen in a Royal Rumble, that, you know, it doesn't have to happen every single year. It's like well, every year there's a number 1 and number 2 and whatever. But do you think that any tag team members are going to turn on each other? And this goes for the women's too, if we didn't talk about the topic. Like, you know, do you think Damage Control's going to turn on each other?
I would love to see Xavier, like, it comes down to a situation where it's Xavier and Kofi, and since Kofi's already been to WrestleMania, Xavier's like, I'm going to try to eliminate you because I want to go to WrestleMania. But I can't think of any tag teams that are so tight-knit that it would be heartbreaking if they, you know, turned on one another.
I think Drew McIntyre will eliminate Sheamus.
Yeah, I mean, they're the Banger Bros, but not a real tag
I
team.
still don't know why they think that that's going to be a good name for them. Like, you can Google that.
They did, that's what makes it even better.
They're going to come to WrestleMania as a team in a bus. I mean, you could have, like, Ridge, like, gets eliminated by Butch, or you could have, I don't expect, like, the Street Profits to turn on each other or whatever, but technically speaking, you can do a lot of those things, and
I know there's quite a few people who are hoping that this is, like, a moment for Montez. I don't think it will be, because I think you need tag teams, but
Yeah, I don't think that will because I don't have Montez Ford in mind.
I don't have either of them. That's my list, yeah. Do you think anybody's going to get attacked before they can make their entrance?
Most probably.
if someone is a Tim,
No one else springs to mind unless Lashley gets attacked by Brock Lesnar beforehand.
or the only other one I would consider is unless Dominic attacks his father, and because he just does not want to fight his dad, so he jumps his dad from behind.
What about the situation where, like, everybody teams up against a big man? Think it's going to be anybody but Omos?
No,
Good stuff.
I just think Omos is so big that he's going to need quite a few people.
Omos is in a strange spot, because I could see them doing the big man spot, or it's just somebody like Lashley, just takes him off.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the case. I think that the choices would be between... I mean, I can see a situation where they do something similar to the Kane and Big Show getting both eliminated at the same time by... I can't remember, that was by 2006, so I think that was like Lashley or someone eliminated, or was it Shawn Michaels eliminated?
Shawn Michaels eliminated Vader and Yokozuna, which is
at the same time, yeah. So I can see them doing that for Gunther and Braun Strowman at the same time. Like, because those two have been feuding on and off, so maybe they get really close to the ropes and someone like Cody or Seth or whoever lifts them both up at the same time. They could potentially do it with Bronson Reed.
Oh, yeah?
Is he in?
Not confirmed.
Yeah, not confirmed, but I have him on my list because...
He's on my list, though.
Yeah.
I mean, so is Buck, too, but... Anybody who gets eliminated by somebody who's been eliminated, that post-elimination elimination, like, you know, hey, you got me out of the ring, so I'm going to pull you over the rope, Hulk Hogan with Sid type shit.
If it happens, Austin Theory eliminates Johnson.
I can see that happening in the women's thing between Becky and Bayley at some point.
I think it's going to happen with someone, yeah. I don't really know who yet. I got to eventually look at my list and play around with that, but I do think that it's going to be somebody like that. And of course, it makes more sense that it's a heel doing it, but they've had baby faces do it too, so, you know. Kofi Kingston botched his thing last year.
Yeah.
You think he successfully does it this year? Does he not even try it? Does he
Who try it?
do anything like particularly fun that you got in mind? Is somebody else going to try to do one thing too? Because we've had like Naomi tried to do it before, and you guys have mentioned like Soul Ruka might or whatever. You think it's going to be just the Kofi show and he's going to do a good job, or like what's going to happen with that?
If they're bringing in Soul Ruka, they're bringing her in to do that. Then they're like, if Casey Canzaro or Katana Chance happens to be in the match, they're bringing her in just to do that. I do think Kofi will try it. I'm not going to lie between that and the fact that he's the NXT champion. I haven't really put much thought into Kofi right now. But if he does, I'd like to see his saving be something like, and surprise, Big E was under the ring. And, you know, like something silly like that to make it, hey, this was fine, and hey, Big E's here.
You could just spot him landing on the NXT Tag Team Championship and that being the touch before. Like, he just he lays it down right at the ringside area before getting in the ring, and then he manages to land one foot on top of it gets, he tries to jump and grab the barricade.
Which he's done before, so...
And he can do that, yeah, he can do that, so how do you play safely this time?
What I want him to do is to be like, last year I botched it, so I'm going to make up for it by doing like 5 this year. Because that's one thing that he hasn't done yet. Like, they're kind of been repeating a lot of the same things, because really how many options do you have in mind? But the first person to really do this outside of the, Shawn Michaels rule, pretty much was John Morrison. And he did things that Kofi eventually copied and pasted. Kofi did a bunch of other ones that, like, I'm going to think of my own ideas. And then for some reason they had Naomi do the ones that Kofi had done, and it was like, you're just doing the Kofi ones, but hey, we're going to act like you haven't seen that before. So I would love to see the only thing he hasn't done yet that I can think of, which is just like a flurry of all of them, kind of. And it's the idea being, look, every year that Kofi does this isn't just like a speculation thing, this is a thing. It's happened every single year. Every year Kofi and or Naomi and or Casey, Casey actually might be the only one that this doesn't apply to, but John Morrison is applied to, I'm pretty sure too. They book them in mind with, what if you don't get to do this and pull it off? We'll just have you eliminated afterward in the booking of the match. So you look back on every Kofi Kingston spot, he saves himself, and within 20 seconds he's gone. Because they just go, okay, well, we're going to write it in there that Kofi got eliminated, because if he gets eliminated by accident, we're not losing anything. Last year we don't know if that's the case, but because he, only lasts 20 seconds, but it very much could have been the case last year too. So I want to see the opposite. I want to see them be like, all right, maybe you don't get immediately tossed out after you save yourself. Maybe it's not that you jump to the commentary table, you work yourself way back into the ring, and then somebody clotheslines you out. Maybe you save yourself, and then we go for that clothesline, and you save yourself again, and then you get back in the ring, and somebody tosses you, and you save yourself again, and we can spend a good 4 attempts or something of it being like, nope, Kofi's proven that he still got it, and then some asshole like Austin Theory, trips him on the outside or something. That's what I'm hoping.
It'll be fun. I think he'll definitely try. I feel bad because it's almost like he has to be in any game to be a threat. He just has to try to save himself.
Yeah, he can't be the guy that's like, well, he might win. This is going to be, how is he temporarily not going to lose this? And then get tossed out. So rounding this out with our final 4s, and our ultimate winner. Could be The Rock, could be Stone Cold, could be a whole lot of different things, but I'm going to say my final 4 is Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Brock Lesnar, and Logan Paul. And that the final 2 are Rhodes and Rollins, or Rhodes and Lesnar, and Rhodes ends up winning.
You really like your Brock Lesnar, Logan Paul, yeah?
I just think that Brock Lesnar probably is going to last to the final 4 because he's probably not going to pop up until at least number 27 or so. And at that point, I just can't picture them eliminating him and then having 4 other people. The Logan Paul thing, maybe not necessarily the case, but maybe it's Lashley and Brock Lesnar in the final 4 instead.
That's my final 4. I'm going to go with Rhodes, Rollins, Lashley, and Lesnar. The only other person I can see making the final 4 in place of these individuals is Theory. But I'm going to go with Rhodes, Rollins, Lashley, Lesnar, and Rhodes and Rollins are the final 2. And I think, again, like I said, for conclusion, I think it's Cody's winning the Royal Rumble.
So I have Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn, and Solo Sikoa. My final 4.
In your final 4, I just want Sami to win.
I think, realistically, my fault should be that I'm fully on board with the idea that Sami Zayn should win the Royal Rumble. I don't care about Cody's comeback story and everything like that. It's not the right time. He hasn't been around long enough, and in that time, Sami Zayn has become the most over guy in the entire company, so he should be the guy that wins the Royal Rumble. But the smart option is to go Cody Rhodes, so Cody Rhodes is the guy I picked, but I think it's the wrong choice, and I think they'll be proven quite soon that it was the wrong choice when people start to turn on Cody.
So how do you think that the final 4 plays out?
I think you have 2 members of the bloodline teaming up against both of them, because realistically, Rollins, I know the whole story's been rolled around Rollins and Cody. Rollins is pure babyface now.
Yeah, and that is something I haven't addressed. Rollins is pure babyface. But it just seems like the thing to do, and until they say Sami's in around, I'm going to assume he's out.
I would see the final 4 playing out with, I think you have Zayn and Sikoa seemingly eliminating somebody, but it leads to Cody putting the ropes down to have Sikoa go out, and then Zayn kind of gets distracted by that. I think I'd still have the final 2 be Zayn and Rhodes. I don't know how that's going to turn out. They'd be just because I like the idea of the chaos of Rhodes eliminating Zayn getting booed.
Yeah, see, I'm not, I get why you like that, but I'm not on board with the idea of, oh fuck, we're already putting Cody in a bad spot again.
You're going to put him in this match. It's the unfortunate truth is the fact that he's in a match where a lot of people expect him to win, and realistically, I say nobody wants him to win, but I think a large proportion of people don't want him to win this match. I think they'll be fine, and they'll eventually get over it that he does win this match, but I think in the moment they won't like that he wins this match when they want someone else to win instead.
I'm still of the belief that if you keep Sami away, I think people will be okay. If you put him in there, then you're fucking, and you better not have Cody win, because now you're screwing Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, because they did a great job of not putting Daniel Bryan in the match, and everyone's seemingly got super on board with that idea.
But I'm of the opinion that, Sami is at least positioned high enough on the card to where maybe people aren't thinking, okay, he's going to win the Royal Rumble. Maybe people are thinking, oh, this is the night that, Roman Reigns beats the fuck out of him, and he ain't even making it to the Royal Rumble.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, you know what, maybe something happens in that match with Kevin Owens where it's like, they beat the shit out of Sami Zayn and he gets stretchered out.
But I'll say this, in counterpoint to my point there, they pretty decisively beat Daniel Bryan in 2014. That didn't stop fucking anyone from wanting Daniel Bryan. But I'm also kind of counting on the fact that Texas ain't Philadelphia. Maybe they're not dead set on Sami Zayn. They could be. But I guess we'll see.
When they announced that they were in Philly last night, I was on the lookout for any kind of riots to take place or anything. Immediately the Go Birds chants and stuff. So, yeah, it's Tuesday afternoon. Maybe some things change here and there, but we're working under the assumption that they probably aren't going to just spontaneously announce some people for the, hey, here's a new match at Royal Rumble, or these people have been confirmed on an episode of The Bump on Wednesday, or something along those lines. But we got NXT tonight. Who knows? Maybe they announce that somebody is going to have some kind of spot in the Royal Rumble or something. Maybe by Wednesday, Thursday, before we do the hot tags, maybe there is some more information about something here and there. If that is the case, we will address them on the hot tags. If not, then we're kind of going into the rest of the pay-per-view point stuff with the post-show without knowing any kind of updates on that front. But There, of course, will always be updates on Smarkoutmoment.com, so check that out and stay up to date on all the new news that is out there for the Royal Rumble, the current list of the people that have been confirmed, and so on and so forth. Make sure that you get in your predictions contest votes while you can. I'm shutting that off pretty much the minute that the kickoff begins, which should be, I think, 7 o'clock Eastern on Saturday. I don't remember if it's 7 or if it's 6, but I'm pretty sure that they're starting the Royal Rumble at 8. But whatever time that is when that's going to shut off. No excuses, no edits at that point. It's just going to be responses are done, so you got to lock in what you want to get in for there while you can. I'm not going to bother to do mine until Friday night after SmackDown, so maybe that's the case for you. But then if you forget about it, you're not going to play enough reminders out there. So it's your last reminder for me when it comes to that. But the results of that we will either talk about on the Pay-Per-View Point post show if we have those results in time, or if not, maybe by then we already have at least the Fantasy League side of it that we can fill you in on, and then we can just make a follow-up video or post something on Mega Maniacs or something. I don't know. Point being, I'll eventually tell you when we calculate who the winners are. We'll get around to that. But we do have some other stuff happening over the next few days. We'll talk about on the hot tags. We will go back and talk more about the Raw's 30 special episode and kind of break down those Legends appearances and everything. We'll talk about whatever happens on Dynamite tomorrow, whatever happens on NXT tonight, so on and so forth. So keep all that in mind and stay tuned for everything. Also, make sure that you're following us around at Smarkoutmoment on Facebook and Twitter. Going to smarkoutmoment.com, checking whatever is happening there. Going to anthonymango.com and following all those different accounts, including fanboysanonymous.com, which I keep adding more and more content that I want to write up and not having any time to be able to do it. But I know pretty soon I'm going to be finishing my year's movie list thing, the top 10 favorite movies of each year, the top 10 favorite movies of every decade, and blah, blah, blah that goes along with that. I'm pretty close to done, so that'll come up pretty soon. And Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania is popping up in February, so hey, that's an upcoming thing. Maybe we've got some other stuff in the pipeline. Maybe we got some, I don't know, fan tracks. Maybe. I said Rob the other night, I was like, hey, you haven't seen Octopussy in a second time. Maybe you should check that back out again. Maybe we'll even do something like that.
Definitely want to do a fan tracks for Octopussy. Definitely want to do fan tracks for Never Say Never Again.
Yeah, 3 of us definitely have to do Never Say Never Again. And
all the X-Men stuff that I keep on because I have it.
yeah, laundry list of different things on the back burner and some of the stuff in production. So stay tuned to fanboysanonymous.com for all that stuff, and follow me at Tony Mango to see things like me complaining about why everybody's complaining about the fucking M&Ms, because it's just insane that that's a topic that keeps coming back around because you're all nuts. Follow what these guys are up to with what Rob and Cal want to promote.
Yeah, follow me everywhere at DukePolice. Check out my writing on Fightful, WrestleZone, and anywhere else. I will be hopefully doing more on the fanboy side of things as well, just because I'm getting excited for a lot of that stuff. DukePolice.com, forever coming soon. And
Forever coming soon.
I'm not wrong. And yeah, but until then, I toss you over to Cal Wiggins. We will hopefully be working on something really cool in the near future as well.
That's the hope. But for now, you can follow me on Twitter with my full team. You can always check out my own written ramblings over on the Power Rankings, where I'm putting together all the wrestlers from 1 to 10 on every given week and keep track on who's been appearing on the rankings the most in the little league table at the bottom of every post. And speaking of tables, you can follow the Fantasy League either by going through the Smarkout website or going straight to www.fantasyleague.com, where you'll see who's been picking up points for our respective teams as we head towards WrestleMania and the crowning of the winner of the 2022-2023 Fantasy League.
Make sure you go back, check out that 1993 Royal Rumble watch along that we did. Check back on those mock drafts that we've done recently and the first episode of Monday Night Raw Darkcast that's out there. We're on that members only side of things at least. And stay tuned for the pay-per-view point post show following the Royal Rumble and the hot tags coming up next in a few days. But until then, adios, everybody. We will see you when we see you. This has been another Smart Out moment, and we're being counted down.
I'm so nervous to meet the guy that makes me fall in love with him every day.
I woke up and I'm this. And you, I mean, you're that.
How long have you been married?
10 years.